It's Sunday, the 17th of July 2016. This is a chart update for Silver Lake Resources. Silver Lake's a stock that I've had a few people ask me about recently, and it's had a really good run in the first 6 months of the year, like many of the gold stocks. Um, Specifically, someone asked me if I own the stock still, and I don't. I did a video of this one late October last year when we had this run up toward 28, 29 cents, and I sold out of my position then. And that was a good trade considering it entered at sort of below 15 cents, I think it was. And that's really how I view this stock as a trading stock. My long-term investments, I don't really have a lot of confidence in Silver Lake. After this stock was once $4 back 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So since then, I've only really viewed it as a trading stock. So I know it's had a good run early this year, but I'd be a bit cautious about sort of thinking that this run can keep going. On a chart, you can see that it's really coming to a strong potential resistance point at the moment. This was a gap down. I think there was a capital raising from memory back in February 2014. I think I may have traded up until just before that capital raising as well. So I think you can see here, this was a huge point of volume, massive volumes compared to the what we're seeing now. And this stock is valued at about 350 million market cap now, which is not an insignificant amount. I've just got their latest their guidance figures for 2017. So you can see here they've got 42.5 million in the bank. All their bank debts have been repaid. So that was sort of the last 3 years they built up those debts and gradually been repaying them. But the thing that really I don't like about this company, compared to a lot of other stocks in the gold sector, is sort of the lack of real growth opportunities they have. I mean, they've sold off a few assets recently, and they've only got incremental improvement in production up toward 145,000 ounces. Now, I mean, you can get for the same sort of market cap as Silver Lake, you can get something like Doré Minerals, which is also producing 140,000 ounces in 2017 financial year, but has real growth opportunities outside of that, and its forecast production is below $1,000 Australian an ounce, whereas Silver Lake produces at 12.50, which is still very high. So it's valued very highly compared to some of the peers in the sector. And this is a chart that Resolute Mining has just put out, and you can see here that on a price earnings basis, Silver Lake's valued actually very high compared to a lot of others in the sector. So you can see here Doré is right down at less than 7, at 6.3, way below average. And Doré's got better management in my view than Silver Lake, and better growth prospects outside of their producing assets, or near production in the case of Deflector. So even on a EV to EBITDA basis, Silver Lake's still sort of considerably higher than a lot of the other smaller companies in the sector. A lot of these are all mid-tier producers. Perseus, has got sort of short-term issues, I think, with Edikan, so you can that's a bit of an outlier. But a lot of these others, Oceana, Regis, Endeavour, Saracen, Evolution, Northern Star, St. Barbara, these are all much higher quality companies in my view, producing most of them above 300,000 ounces. They're kind of clear mid-tier producers in the Australian market. Beetle, it's sort of in a recovery phase as well, but it's still, I'd rather own Beetle. Their exploration prospects are better than Silver Lake in my view. The other thing, Silver Lake's had to sell off a lot of their marginal assets. So if you're a really believer in Australian dollar gold going to $2,000 plus, Silver Lake had some assets in that category that might have got some value as the gold price went up, but they've sold them all at the bottom of the market. So they've capped a lot of that, real sort of, if you want to own a marginal producer, they were a good candidate, but now they've sold those assets. So they've only really got their one operating mine, and they've got the exploration acreage around it, which is quite costly to explore around there. So they had in this, they've got an exploration budget of $15 million around Mount Monger. So they're kind of hamstrung in my view. So I don't, as a long-term investment, I'd be hesitant to own it. If the gold price keeps going up, they'll probably keep going up, but I think there are better opportunities in other Australian-based gold stocks in the sector.